So, have you ever heard or been given the advice to forgive and forget? Or maybe it's corollary, time heals all wounds? Well, I'm going to tell you why, even though that sounds like good advice, it may not be either as easy or even the best advice. I'm Leslie Dories, your marriage coach, creator of the Hero Husband Project, and owner of Foundations Coaching. Now, the idea of forgiveness, if you're going to have a healthy relationship, that is actually a skill that you both need to learn how to do. Because we can't, if you can't forgive, if you're holding hurts and resentments to you, it's going to eventually destroy your relationship. But the idea of forgetting, I'm not sure is one, possible, and two, even if it were, it being a good idea. It's very, very hard to forget something that has had an emotional impact on you. And if it has had a challenging emotional impact on you, meaning it's left you feeling hurt or in some other ways not great, you probably don't want to forget it because you want to be on the lookout for similar things. It's a form of protection. And so, this idea that we should just forget it, pretend it never happened, probably not a good idea. The way in which something loses power is to first deal with it. That would be the forgiveness part. And then making sure that that behavior, whatever it was that happened, doesn't happen again. And so over time, if the new behaviors, if the more productive behaviors have taken root, then the hurtful behavior loses its power over time. And so this is sort of the idea, the concept of time heals all wounds, except time by itself heals nothing. It is what we do in that time. It's what you do in that time that will make the healing possible. And the way that we heal is to first acknowledge our own feelings around things and then have them be acknowledged by other people. So if my husband hurts my feelings, it's happened because it does. He doesn't do it on purpose, but it's happened. I need to share with him that this particular event left me with my feelings hurt, and could we please do it differently in the future? And he's usually very willing to say, oh, I'm so sorry, I had no idea that was going to be the impact, and yes, absolutely, we will do it differently. We've developed a process by which that happens. I usually don't bring it to him until I have had time to think about it and know exactly what it was about that situation that was problematic for me. And then I can present it to him as, here's what happened, here's how I reacted to it, here's what I would like to do going forward. And so I give him the opportunity to take ownership, even though that it was not his intention to hurt my feelings, to have my feelings, the fact that my feelings were hurt, to be acknowledged. It's really important about that. And then it's an agreement to, oh, yes, in the future, we will do it differently. That makes me feel safe. That makes me feel heard. And that allows me to move through the pain and into forgiveness. And this is true no matter how small the injury. And it's even more important if there has been a big injury. A lot of times we just want to move through it really quickly, put it in the past, and not think about it again, because thinking about it hurts. It's painful. I don't want to do it. And by the way, I don't want you to bring my flaws to the forefront because, again, that just makes me feel bad. And so instead of really digging in and doing the work around the forgiveness piece, which means I have to own what I did, even though I didn't intend the outcome, I still have to own my behavior, not make excuses for it, and acknowledge that it caused pain. That's a big step, and it's an important step, and it's what makes apology so important to the forgiveness. And if you don't get an apology or a acknowledgement in a sincere and real fashion, it's going to be really, really hard to forgive. And so that's step number one. And then step number two is to allow new behavior to take root, and then let go of the hurt that has been caused by past behavior. Because if it's not still happening, and if it hasn't happened in 5 years, then I think we need to put a statute of limitations on it. And that's where forgiveness comes in. Now, we probably will never forget that the event happened. It's sort of like, if you break your arm and it heals, you cannot feel that, but if you take an x-ray, guess what? That break is still visible on the x-ray. It doesn't completely disappear. It may not be impacting my life in the moment because I've worn the cast, I've done the physical therapy, I've done all this stuff to heal, but it's still there in the background. And if we look deep enough, we can find it. And if I'm not completely healed and you bump up against my arm, it's going to hurt. So I can't really forget about it either. These are really, really important relationship skills. And a lot of people want to just move right on past them because, well, it's in the past and we can't do anything about it. We can't change the event, but we can change both people's stories around the event into something that's much more productive. So hopefully you have found that helpful. And if you have questions or comments about that, I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to put a comment down below or send me a direct message or shoot me an email at leslie@foundationscoachingnc.com. And if you or your partner are stuck on something that you can't move through, you can't just forgive and forget, you can't, lots of time has passed and the wound hasn't healed, then I invite you to get in touch and to talk with me, take advantage of my 5-star relationship session. And until next week, stay loving.